Hello, everybody. This is the IoT show, IoT Day edition from East Africa. And we're going to cover East Africa, the scene there. And we have Avinash Kaushik. You've all met Avinash Kaushik. He's already spoken to us from India. Hello, Avinash. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Sudha. How are you?
Good. Tell us a little bit about who you are and your love for East Africa. You're not talking to us from East Africa. We're kind of cheating here. So tell us a little bit about.
Hi, I'm an Indian. I live in India, but I've worked extensively in Africa and especially the East African region. I currently run a hardware accelerator, and which is based out of India and with base in China and Taiwan. So I would love to share my views on East African experience and the startup ecosystem in the most exciting part of the world.
Exciting part of the world. Help us define what is the exciting part called East Africa.
So, according to me, this is my personal view. So, I find everything in Africa very exotic. There are rich resources and lots of opportunities because there is scope to leapfrog innovation, leapfrog technologies. So that's the best part of Africa. And many startups are solving local challenges and problems.
So we will come to the local challenges because I'm very intrigued by that, right? Because local for each of us means something else altogether, right? And
Yes.
and that's what startups are trying to do. But tell us, when you say East Africa, what countries? Is it Ethiopia? What other countries are we talking here?
Yeah, we are talking about Cape to Cairo, right from Egypt to Tanzania, Mozambique, Ethiopia, Kenya, to South Africa.
Okay.
So yeah, so and pretty much even we can talk about the entire Africa also with Cape Town and South Africa and Nigeria being the two hotbeds for startups, and then followed by Kenya.
So where were you based out of, and what did you do there?
I was based out of Addis Ababa, a very beautiful city in Ethiopia, the capital of Ethiopia. So it was a World Bank incubation center, ICT incubation center with the World Bank, IFC, and German Development Corporation working together, helping the local startup ecosystem and the small medium enterprises. So there is abundant resources, natural resources, and many large companies, for obvious reasons, are already working in Africa. But again, there are a lot of inherent infrastructure challenges, and technology deficiency, which I'm sure only the startups can solve, because large companies come with agendas, but startups look at small opportunities and try to help the communities.
So what is the ecosystem like? So we are talking about the tech ecosystem. So
Technology is always an enabler, right? So technology again can be used for various other deficiencies in Africa, especially healthcare, the financial system, education. These are the most prominent challenges. There are no medicines available. Most of the medicines are counterfeit. They're expensive. There's no affordability. There is no distribution. There are no doctors. You find several NGOs and Red Cross and Doctors Beyond Borders working, but that's not enough. You need to, there has to be a business ecosystem working with the community, right? So, each country and a nation or a continent cannot be driven by aid. It has to have inherent, it should be independent, and the ecosystem should have thriving businesses which support the people.
So what did you guys do when you said you were, part of an incubator funded by the World Bank? And what was there? I mean, other than you, right? When you went in there, I mean, you obviously scared me a bit and about problems we kind of assume we know, but we don't know enough about that particular region. But so you're basically saying it's an opportunity, right? Oh, there is not enough infrastructure. Let's build infrastructure. There's not enough
I
distribution.
say it's a land of opportunities for a lot of other companies, even Western, in other parts of the world, businesses to come and explore. At the same time, it's an innovation hotbed because only when there is resource constraint, you try to bring in things and dissect processes and business models, overheads, which have come by default in various other parts. So the whole concept of P2P, person-to-person lending,
Yeah.
the M-Pesa has all evolved out of Africa.
Hiva.
So,
Yes.
M-Pesa and other stuff.
Help me understand the scene. I mean, you said about the problem. So help me understand, when it's a hotbed of innovation, all these problems are opportunity. What exists? Do we have some kind of startup ecosystem? Do we have incubators, accelerators? Is there something else? Is there university connections? Where is, so help paint a picture, because I've not been there. So help me understand what it looks like, since you were there and you were trying to do an incubator.
Correct. So the entire African continent is a 1 billion people continent, as many as in India, but geographically spread almost 4 times or 5 times. And then you have pockets of well-developed markets when it comes to startup ecosystems in Nigeria or Cape Town, South Africa, and again Kenya. So biggest challenge, there are several startups working on health, working on food delivery. I'm not talking about picking up from restaurants and hyperlocal delivery. I'm talking about supplying food for survival. I'm talking about education, the basic education, and I'm talking about basic health. So these are there, and then there are again technology. There is no financial ecosystem. There's no financial infrastructure. So you don't find all the convenient banks and cash disposal centers everywhere. So there are other ways that startups are solving these challenges. More. But one good part is the country and the continent has been able to leapfrog technologies. The mobile penetration is comparable to most of the other parts of the world. The growth rate is also very, very promising. So be it healthcare, education, as I sort of tend to reiterate, it's pretty much healthcare, education, and agriculture, supporting the local industry, small scale industries.
So not knowing the scene there, right? Agriculture and healthcare are two of the top industries where IoT is leading the innovation. I know farms in Colombia which are using sensors everywhere to improve their productivity and their whole distribution and pick up and manage the humidity of grain storage and the likes. So do you see that happening in Africa? And I'm hoping when somebody is watching this, maybe somebody would ping us right from there to tell us, this is the scene, or somebody is working on something more current that they can tell us. But you're helping us.
That level of industrial IoT, that level of maturity, even the developed markets need to have a lot of scope to bring into their operations. So we cannot expect an African small-scale industry to have adopted IoT and various other technologies. But they're gradually evolving, and there is always scope for solutions to support, firstly, digitization, and then again, bring in efficiency through other innovative means.
Are there universities? Help understand the ecosystem. So who's funding these startups? Are there angels local from Africa? You said it's not aid money, because startups are going to be funded by somebody who's putting money to create growth scale from there, right? They want some percentage return. So who's funding these startups? Are there angel networks?
There are a few venture funds. There are a few NGOs and development corporations from various countries who are trying to support the ecosystem here. The government initiatives are also there. So in terms of funding startups, the market needs to mature further.
There is money, there's fluidity of money, and at least, if you have the VC infrastructure and the like, you have that in place, right?
Mm-hmm.
What about talent? I mean, where are these people coming from? Are there good universities that are connected to this VC ecosystem?
See, there are a few good universities, and many of the students, they go abroad to countries like India, and a few people go to Europe and study. There's also a very good diaspora coming back into Africa and supporting the African communities and
they want to create the opportunities back home. That's good, because then they bring the world scale infrastructure, or they have the vision of what it should be. So
yes.
That is happening. So we have the talent, we have the money, we just don't have the mobility of money as easily as here in terms of banking infrastructure. But there are enough problems that it is unique to South Africa, or not just South Africa, to all East Africa. You gave a bigger, wider geography of Africa. This is cool. Anything that you want to add as a parting comment? And then hopefully, we will get somebody living there calling us and say, include me in the show, and I'll tell you, I'll walk around and do a periscope or show you what it looks like. Maybe I'm hoping that I would hear from an incubator or a startup from there.
See, Africa is very rich in resources, right? It's many large companies, especially companies like Kraft Foods or Del Monte and even oil and gas companies from Latin America and other parts of the world. You'll see everybody there in Africa again. There's huge resource and a lot of large companies working. So it's just a matter of time that the startups start building and solving local problems. And again, there are a lot of solutions through IoT which can bring in efficiency and connectivity to most of the challenges.
Sounds good. Fantastic. So hopefully somebody would hear and say, here I have an IoT solution, and show it in the show. So bye, everybody. Thank you, Avinash. Thank you for joining us again. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.